through this.
Let's not drown ourselves in semantics. What if I told you that a high-confidence location fix on your 911 screen could still put responders in the wrong building, or even on the wrong block? Let's look inside geo-confidence scores. You know, that quiet little number behind your maps that can make or break an NG 911 dispatch. And trust me, once you understand how they actually work, you might not look at 95% certainty the same way again. So stick around. That's coming up next on TiPS, Today in Public Safety.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Here's your host, Fletch, with today's tips.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety. This is Fletch. I'm a NEMA certified ENP, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I bring you the latest and occasionally statistically terrifying insights into emergency communications. Today we're going to dig into an important topic that lives quietly in the background of every 911 call, but absolutely should be up front. Geo-confidence scores. You know, those little numerical percentages that tell your ECC, yeah, I'm pretty sure that this caller is here. Except here's the catch. Pretty sure just isn't good enough when the fire's on the 32nd floor and your confidence bubble covers floors 27 through 40. That's a pretty big spread, especially if the fire isn't showing externally. So let's break it down. Think back to the early days of wireless 911, when Phase 2 location was considered a miracle, especially if it landed in the same zip code as the caller. But today, with increased cell tower deployment densities and handset-based location, all providing for far more precision, X, Y, and even Z access is much better. But here's the thing, the raw coordinates aren't the whole story. It's the confidence score that really tells you how trustworthy that data actually is. So let's break all this down into about a half dozen bite-sized parts. Part 1. What confidence scores really mean. A 95% confidence score doesn't mean the caller is definitely inside a polygon on your map. It means that 95% of the time, in controlled testing, the caller was within this radius. Now, keywords there, testing and controlled environment. That wasn't your downtown high-rise, that wasn't your college dorm, and it definitely wasn't the abandoned mall where all RF signals go to die. So yeah, mathematically it's impressive, but operationally, it can be pretty dangerous. Part 2. When 95% isn't enough. Let's say your map shows the caller at 8.7 meters uncertainty with 95% confidence. Pretty great, right? Yeah, but then you remember 8.7 meters vertically is 3 floors, and laterally it may cover multiple units. So a confidence score that high can still leave responders searching every apartment in a big vertical stack, locating everything from crying babies to confused seniors to a couple of dudes who definitely shouldn't have that many reptiles in one room. Part 3. Variability makes it worse. So another bad issue is that same 95% can behave wildly differently in multiple locations. And that's because of things like dense urban RF chaos, Wi-Fi RTT drift, GPS multipath reflection, new construction that's blocking signals, high ceilings that alter the barometric Z-axis reference. And then you've got carrier-to-carrier algorithm differences. So a 95% score in Miami might not be the same as a 95% score in Manhattan, but your map doesn't tell you that part. Part number 4, the ECC operational challenge. Dispatch doesn't need math. Dispatch needs certainty, or at least something that's a usable risk envelope. The real question isn't where's the caller. The question's what level of confidence is safe enough for the decision that I'm about to make. And based on the incident, different types might have different tolerance for risk. For fire alarms, floor-level precision is mostly required. Medical calls are going to need the unit-level accuracy. Law enforcement may be able to accept a larger radius, depending on the incident, are going to need pinpoint location. So confidence isn't just a number, but it's a triage tool. Part 5. Why ECCs need geo-confidence literacy. ECTs already teach call handling, radio discipline, and situational awareness. But with today's information, it requires a new skill: spatial uncertainty literacy. Call takers and dispatchers are going to need to deeply understand things like what confidence scores really mean, how to interpret an uncertainty radius, when to override the map, when to ask the carrier for more data, when supplemental data can and cannot help, and when 95% actually means we really don't know. Anymore, this isn't optional. It's the future of location intelligence. Part 6, the industry problem. Right now, everyone, vendors, carriers, integrators, love to throw around big numbers. We have accuracy within 3 meters, 95% certainty. But rarely do they say, in an empty parking lot with clear sky, no multipath, and a brand new device at full battery. Yeah, that's in the disclaimer. Confidence scores need transparency. PSAPs can always benefit from training, and vendors need to stop oversimplifying and tell it like it is. If we don't fix this now, NG911 could drown under its own data inconsistencies. Wrapping this all up, but not closing it out. Confidence scores shouldn't be some spooky mystery. They shouldn't be some marketing fluff. What they should be is operational indicators that help you make life or death decisions with clarity. So 95% might sound good, but for public safety, good is never good enough when uncertainty becomes the emergency. That wraps up today's episode of TiPS Today in Public Safety. Thanks so much for listening. For more updates and insights, remember you can follow me on social media at Fletch911. Remember you can visit 911tips.com. That'll get you a complete archive of all of our previous episodes. My blogs are available at Fletch.tv, and my professional website is at Fletch911.com. Stay safe. Thanks so much for listening. And if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do every single day. We'll catch you next time. Take care.
You've been listening to TiPS Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Catch past episodes on 911tips.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to join us each week for the latest on NG911. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. Catch me on Sirius XM on various channels, including 90s on 9, the 10 spot, and on the Weekend Countdown on Hits 1. Or don't regret it for the rest of your life. Either way,